when Geoff Marshall was filming his Secrets of the London Underground series a few years ago, he famously said that the bit between here at Harrow and Wealdstone down to Queen's Park was his least favourite on the entire Underground network. Now, I happen to believe that he's absolutely right. It's a bit crap. However, the bit between here up to Watford Junction on the London Overground is one of the best bits on the Overground network, and I'm going to show you why in a series that I like to call my favourites. Yes folks, welcome to the newly named Lioness Line and welcome to our first stop here at Headstone Lane. This beautiful yellow brick station designed, well, it looks as though it should be in a sort of sunny town in France rather than just one stop from Harrow and Wealdstone on this rather sort of grotty bit of line between Watford and Euston. Now I must admit, you're probably not getting the full effect of how pretty this station is, given the fact it's a freezing cold grey day. But trust me, in the summer, taking shelter under those lovely white canopies while the sun bounces off those sand-coloured walls is simply a joy to behold. A station that is good all year round is the next one up on the line, which is Hatch End, where there are two exciting things to see. That's actually a lie. It turns out there was loads to see. We'll start with the abandoned mainline platforms here, which are all fully intact, minus the signage, benches and of course the access to them. Now it has just started raining, but that doesn't matter because it brings me on to the second thing that there is to see. And that is possibly my favourite waiting shelter in London. With its beautiful arched windows and the view out onto the mainline, it was a pleasure to spend a few minutes sitting inside. As I was crossing over the bridge to go and see that waiting shelter, I happened to see from the bridge this little garden. It's quite clear that Hatch End are wanting to win a TfL in Bloom style award, although I thought the scarecrow was a bit creepy. I had also spotted these two old signs. Now I'm not really sure why you'd want to leave your coat in the cloakroom each day before work only to pick it up on the way home, but it's the thought that counts, I suppose. I then popped into the lovely old ticket office, where I spotted perhaps my favourite Overground roundel ever. Oh, do you know, I love it. I think Hatch End is one of my favourite stations in London. I know it's a bold statement, but I think it is. Pleased that I was already starting to prove my point about how good the Lioness Line is, I got back on board to take me to here, Carpenter's Park, which, look, I'm not a train spotter, but this might be the best place for train spotting in the UK. And even in the edit, I stand by that statement. With its wide open island platform and its close vicinity to Wembley Depot, it's a prime spot to see a variety of different trains. I've seen Royal Mail trains, I've seen the Royal train, I've seen different types of freight, I've seen old carriages with old Class 57s. The one I was really hoping to see was one of Avanti's new Class 800s in testing, but given I was here for only 15 minutes, there was surely no chance of that. Oh my word! Next I rode to Bushy. I had no intention of getting out here, as the only reason I like the station is for its name. Bushy. So we'll jump out at the penultimate stop. Now this is a lovely station, Watford High Street. It's got these beautiful walls on either side. It's got the grand white canopy down the middle. It's also very aptly named. Of the four stations that share the name Watford, or have the name Watford in the title, this is the best one for the town centre. If you're coming in from the north, you're stopping at Watford Junction, it is always worth going the one stop to Watford High Street if you're looking for the town centre. It does remind me a lot, this station, of some of those on the sort of Glasgow railway network. I can't think of the exact station, but my dad, he watches all my videos. He'll write down what station I'm thinking of in the comments, I'm sure. So if you're wondering which station in Glasgow Watford High Street reminds me of, with its canopy and the walls on either side, go see my dad in the comments. A heated waiting shelter is a lovely touch on a day like today. It's absolutely freezing. The only downside is there were 2 young girls vaping in here, so it reeks of sweat and that disgusting strawberry stuff that they insist on smoking. Disgusting. Wanting to escape the smell, I jumped back on for the final leg of the journey and our slow crawl into Watford Junction. Believe me, I speak from experience when I say that slow crawl into Watford Junction is the most frustrating thing in the world, especially when you've only got a few minutes to make a connection on platform 6 for a train going north, which I do quite often. Goodness me, what is there to say about Watford? Well, I believe it's you can get from an overground train onto a train possibly going to Scotland in the fewest number of steps possible. I really was grasping at straws here. Well, there we go, that was it, the Lioness line. And for those wondering, there's not actually much Lioness line sort of signs or symbols about at the moment. I think they're still looking to bring that in soon. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Some of the stations along that part of the route are some of my favourites in London. I just think it's brilliant. And obviously that bit between Harrow down to Wealdstone is not the greatest in the world. Geoff was right about that. But I hope you've enjoyed experiencing some of the stations that Geoff didn't show you. And if you do fancy giving this video a like, dropping a subscribe and maybe writing a comment below, that would be fantastic. I've been Ben Walker and from Watford Junction. See you later, fellas.
Next stop will be Harrow and Wealdstone.